Hello everyone and welcome to PepperAmmy's basic white loaf recipe. For this we want to start with 500 grams of white flour in a bowl, and to that we want to add 2 teaspoons of salt and 7 grams sachet of yeast, or around 7 grams of a block of yeast crumbled in. Some shops with a bakery may even give you some free bread yeast if you ask nicely. Once all of that is in a bowl, we want to give it a quick mix before adding our liquids. Once everything is mixed together, we want to add 3 tablespoons of oil and 300 ml of water and mix it together. Once everything is roughly mixed in, we'll have a rough shaggy dough which we'll tip onto a lightly floured work surface and begin kneading for around 10 minutes until the dough is smooth. If you end up with a very wet and hard to knead dough, you can add more flour into it. Now we want to move the dough into a large oiled bowl and cover with a tea towel and leave to rise for at least an hour or until at least doubled in size. Depending on the room temperature, if it's slightly warmer it will rise a lot quicker. Once the dough has doubled, we want to knock it back by gently kneading and then shape it into a ball and place it either on a baking tray or shape it into a small log and place it into a loaf pan like I have. You want to make sure it is seam side down. You can also add seeds to the top of the loaf here too for a seeded crust. Now I want to let this rise again for another hour or at least until doubled in size. Once the dough has risen, we want to preheat the oven to around 200 degrees C. Here you can score the top of your loaf with a sharp knife or a bread tool, but if you have added seeds to the top of your loaf, this will actually be quite hard to do, so I didn't do it. Then we want to place the loaf in the oven for around 20 to 30 minutes until golden brown on top and the loaf sounds hollow when tapped on the bottom. You want to make sure you're... Once all of that is in a bowl, we want... Once everything is roughly mixed in, we'll have a rough shaggy dough, which will be... Now we want to move the dough into a large oiled bowl. One day I'll be able to read. I write scripts and then I can't read.